Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Garrison from BlenderGuys.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create an orange, a lemon, and a lime. So open up a new scene in Blender, delete the cube, hit N, scroll down and check background image. And I'm just going to use a lime side view. Shift A, add circle. Change the vertex count to 12. Rotate it by 90 degrees, scale it up. Tab and edit mode, extrude. You just want to get the basic shape of it. Extrude another time. Now over here we'll do the same thing. Hold down Alt and right click and scale that edge loop down. Do that one more time. Extrude, right click, Alt M at center. That's starting to look like a lime. So now for this hole, extrude, Alt M at center, pull it out. Then we'll go over to the modifiers tab, add modifier subdivision surface. Set it to 2 and set smooth. Okay, there's our first lime. So we're going to change over to the cycles and add a new material. Name it lime. Open up a new window. Change it over to the node editor. Okay, first I'm going to set up the lighting. So we're going to use the sun, use nodes, and energy 4. Give it a slight yellowy tint to it. We're going to position this about right there. Shift D, rotate it about there, make it a darker blue. Set the energy to 2. Locate the camera where you want it. That's looking pretty good. Maybe just rotate these a little less on the Y and the X. There we go. So, now we can start making the material. We are going to add a color mix RGB, plug that into that, and set this color to a darkerish green. This color will be the same color, only we'll make it lighter. Then we're going to add a texture for on eye. Put the color in the factor. So now there's, if I make this way darker, you can see there's patches. So then we'll set the scale to 80. And put the factor into the displacement. But you can tell that it's dented in, not out. So we're going to add a color invert node. And now it makes bumps coming out. Pretty cool. Set the factor to 0.55. Now 0.6. Next we're going to add a shader and a mix shader. And a glossy. Plug those two up there. Set the roughness to 0.1 and the factor amount to 0.95. So it's just kind of a glossy sheen to it. How about set that to 0.15? Yeah, that looks better. The coloring's a little wrong. Just try and get it. A little bit brighter. Select that one. That looks good. And there's your first lime. Next, we'll make the lemon. So hit Shift D. And tab in edit mode. Delete this portion. Select this edge loop. And deselect those two and those two. Hit space and type in grid fill. And there you go. We'll add an edge loop right there. Sharpen it up a little more. And this will be a half of a lemon. So open up a new window. Change it over to the node editor. Tab in edit mode. We're just going to mark a seam right here. Control E, mark seam. And just hit unwrap. So now, I'll just put that over there. So we need to add another material. I'll name this lemon end. Okay, so for the lemon material, first, select these top faces and assign it to lemon end. So now if you go under rendered viewport shader, the top's white and the sides are green. But it's a lemon, so it should be yellow. That looks pretty good. Now for the lemon end, we're going to add a texture, image texture. I'm going to open this up. I think this was got off plaintextures.com. I'll put a link on our website under the video. Next we'll add a shader, mix shader, which is like a little bit of gloss to it. Shader and gloss. Okay, so set the roughness to 0.1 and the factor to 0.95. And then we're going to plug the color into the displacement. Add an invert node. Set the factor to 0.55. And then that'll just add a tiny bit of displacement. Okay, next we're going to add the whole lemon. So Shift D the lime again. and give it the lemon material. Now we have a lemon, a lime, and half a lemon. Next we're going to add the orange. Duplicate the lime, tab and edit mode, go to vertex select, Shift Alt S to sphere. Scale on the Z just a tad. Then I'm going to select this, E, extrude it in. Then we're going to make that stem type part. Select this edge loop, hit Shift D, scale it down, bring it down, extrude, scale that part down, Alt M at center, just sharpen it up by hitting Control R. And this part's too big. Control plus, and size, Shift C. I'll make it just a bit smaller. Control L and bring it down. Now select the orange and push H to hide it. And we want this to be kind of a flower shape. So hit size, Shift Z. Bring in this part. Alt H and select that stem. Grab, pull it up. Bring these parts out just a little more. Okay. So this, we're gonna first name it orange, give it a new material, name it stem, and select the stem and assign it to stem. Just make that a bit smaller. And now we'll make the orange orange. Just a nice orangey tint. About right there. And for the stem, it'll be a whitish brown. I found that that looks the best on an orange. Just like that. Okay, so next we're going to make the plate. Go into a different layer, Shift A, add circle. Move these out a bit so we have more room to work with. And this time we'll use 20 vertices. And we don't need the background image anymore, so scroll down, hit the eye, tab and edit mode, E, scale it up, E, bring it down, E, and Alt M at center. Select this part, E, grab Z, Alt M at center. And there's your plate. We're going to add a subdivision surface modifier at 2 and hit smooth. Then we'll Control R, add a loop cut there, make it nice and sharp. And I'll scale this in. Yeah, that looks good. Now we'll select this edge, tab and edit mode, go to the top view and hit U, project from view, bounds. And then we're gonna create that leaf type look on the plate. There's bump mapping on it. So we're going to add a displace modifier, and it looks really bad right now. We'll give it a new texture, name it plate underscore disp for displace. And we need to create a vertex group, so click that plus arrow, and with that part selected, click assign, tab out of edit mode, and under vertex groups, select that vertex group. And then go click UV and select that UV map. Scroll over to the textures tab and make sure it's on displace, plate displace, and click not magic, image or movie. And I made this one, I think it was in GIMP, so it'll be on our website. Plate color. And then go back over to the modifiers tab, change the strength way down to like 0.02, and then the subdivisions, change that to 4 for the rendered and the view. Well, the view you can actually turn to 2 for now. Okay, next we'll add a glossy material to the plate. So give it a new material, name this plate. Shift A, add mix shader and a glossy. Combine those two. We need the light, so go to the other layer, select these lights, push M, shift that layer. So then now the lights are on both layers. So we want to get this roughness 0.1 and the factor to 0.1. I think that'll look good. Okay, so there's your plate. Let's bring it up a little. And now we'll start setting up the camera. So scale the plate up because it's tiny right now. Select the fruit. Bring them up on the Z. Scale them down. We're going to rotate the half of a lemon so it's sitting on the plate. The orange should be a whole lot bigger than a lemon or lime. So just scale it up. The lime will go behind the lemon. And the orange will go right here. And the other lemon will just go right there. For the camera, push G, Z twice, and then that'll pull it out. We actually want it to go right here, so Control Alt 0. Snap it to that location. That's looking pretty good. Next we'll make a backdrop. So push 3 and Shift S, cursor to center, Shift A, add plane. Scale it up, tab and edit mode, vertex select mode, E, just make a sloping backdrop and click smooth. Size X and then rotate on the Z. So you just want to get this in a natural looking pose. I kind of want the orange a little bit behind the slice of lemon. Something like that. That's pretty good. Okay, now we'll do a test render. 50% and 10 is fine. And we'll see what it looks like. It's looking pretty good except for the bump on the plate. I think that's a little too much. So select the plate and bring the render down to 3. And I'm going to use my GPU because it's faster, and tile size to 256. And plate still looks a little much. So I'll change the strength down to 0.01. That's looking pretty good. So now I'll do a final render at 100% and 100 samples. Okay, this is the rendered results. So now we'll jump over to the compositor by hitting Control left arrow. Just close this. And we're going to add a vignette. So click Use Nodes, Backdrop, and Control Shift, and it adds a viewer node for you. Shift A, add Distort, Lens Distortion. We're going to put this down here. And add a filter, blur, put that in there, change it to Fast Gaussian, Relative, Y, 7, 7. Next we'll add a color mix. Change it to multiply. And set the distort to 1. And now we have a vignette, but it's way too heavy. So change the factor to more around a 0.2. Looks good. Okay, so here's our final result. For my scene, I added a banana and an apple in the background, but those were harder than the oranges and lemons. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you next time.